What if you drilled a hole through the earth and jumped in? Let's imagine you've got a giant drill. Not just any drill, but one powerful enough to bore a tunnel straight through the earth, from one side to the other, right through the core. Completely impossible, of course. But let's assume you somehow pulled it off. You're standing at the edge of this impossible tunnel, looking down into the darkness that leads through the planet. And now, you jump. First, we need to clarify something. Earth isn't just a big rock. It's made of layers. First, there's the crust, the thin outer skin we live on. Below, that is the mantle, which stretches down nearly 3,000 kilometers. Then comes the outer core, a vast ocean of molten iron, and at the very center, the inner core, a solid ball of metal as hot as the surface of the sun. So drilling a hole through the whole thing would mean withstanding insane pressure, deadly heat, and somehow cutting through liquid metal. But we agreed not to ask too many questions. Let's assume not only that you drilled the tunnel, but that you also removed the molten core, vacuumed out the air, because otherwise it'd be a problem, and lined the entire shaft with heat-resistant magic, okay? Now you jump. As you fall, gravity kicks in. At first you accelerate slowly, but quickly you pick up speed. In a few seconds, you're falling faster than any elevator ever built. A minute in, you're moving faster than a sports car. After about 3 minutes, you're approaching hypersonic speed. Around the 20-minute mark, you reach your maximum velocity, about 28,000 kilometers per hour, nearly orbital speed. That's because gravity is pulling you toward the Earth's center, and you accelerate as long as you're moving toward it. But the moment you pass the center, everything flips. Now gravity is working against you, slowing you down. You're still moving forward, but gravity is now trying to pull you back. You begin to rise, like a pendulum swinging up the other side. And you'll keep rising, slower and slower, until you come to a stop, right at the edge of the tunnel on the other side of the world. If there were no air resistance, you'd fall back and forth like this forever, an endless gravitational swing. But if there's even a little air in your tunnel, things change. Air resistance will slow you down. On your first trip, you won't reach the other end. On the second, you'll go even lower. Eventually, you'll come to rest near the center of the Earth, suspended in a sort of gravitational dead zone, a human stuck in a planetary scale yo-yo. Oh, and there's another twist. Even if you built a vacuum tunnel and jumped, Earth is still rotating. That means you're rotating too. Depending on where you start, your horizontal speed from Earth's rotation could be over 1,600 kilometers per hour. But inside the Earth, that motion doesn't just vanish. You'd end up scraping along the tunnel walls, spinning, bouncing like a coin in one of those donation funnels. Even in a vacuum, you wouldn't fall in a straight line. But let's say you're a perfect traveler in a perfect vacuum tunnel with Earth's rotation accounted for. In that ideal case, your whole journey from one end of the Earth to the other would take about 42 minutes. That's also how long it would take to fall through the planet from London to Sydney. Way faster than any plane. So if you could build this tunnel, and somehow avoid being vaporized in the process, jumping into it wouldn't be such a bad idea. You wouldn't crash. You'd just come back to where you started, as long as you time it right. Just don't miss your exit. And if someone's waiting for you on the other side, maybe ask them to bring a trampoline. You know, just in case.